All right, so we're back here on another Overreaction Monday. It is a victory Monday for all of us at the panel here. So definitely merry victory Monday to you fellas. What's going on, Jerk?
Nothing much, nothing much. It's 3 weeks in a row now. I don't know how many more hot takes I got for you this season, Coach, but I'm gonna give you as much as I can. Everything I got in the tank, just like some of these old quarterbacks are trying to do for their teams. Except I actually will succeed at giving you something, unlike some of these guys like Big Ben and them.
Okay. Man, we 3 seconds into the show already shooting shots.
Right. What's going on,
Love
Rob?
it. Hey, you know what? I feel good. A lot of some of our colleagues here at Off the Ball Network are not able to feel as good as we are today. Both my teams won this weekend. USC stomped on Colorado. You personally literally walked out of the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta with the dub. Some people, Walker, cannot say that at all this weekend. He took like 7 L's so far, and it's only Monday. So, the night is young.
Absolutely. Mo, another victory Monday for you as well, sir.
Hey, like Rob said, I get to celebrate. Ohio State won, Dallas won. Nothing can really ruin my Monday, my overreaction Monday. I'm here to kind of just talk trash about everybody else. That's what I'm here for.
So, we talking about is everybody's victory Monday. So we got to go into who our biggest winner of week 4 in the NFL season. I'm going to go with you first, Jerk, your biggest winner.
So my biggest winners is kind of a twofold thing, and it all centers around young quarterbacks. Last week I had the rookie quarterbacks as my losers because straight up all the rookies, except technically Trey Lance because he didn't really play last week, they struggled. They looked bad. They didn't look comfortable. It was a lot of bad rookie QB performances last week, but I got to give them their props. All the rookies that had bad games last week, they got to bounce back this week. Zach Wilson played the best game so far of his career to this point. Looked a lot better against Tennessee than he had in previous games against the likes of the Broncos and the Patriots. Trevor Lawrence played, you could argue, his best game just because it looked a lot better, him in the Jacksonville offense. Justin Fields, when he wasn't running around like he was someone tried for being a witch back in Salem in like the 1500s or whenever the Salem witch trials were, he actually looked like he could play on an NFL field, which when we say that about you, when Matt Nagy is your coach, the fact we can say that about you, it kind of means something. And then Mac Jones held his own, under the bright lights in a big-time game. He did what he could, and he didn't necessarily cost them the game, which, again, for your rookie quarterback, you like that. And the most shocking of them all, Trey Lance comes in because Jimmy G hurt something or other. I don't know what it is this time. It's always something in his San Fran tenure. And Trey Lance came in, and he looked pretty good for his first significant amount of action in a pretty important game that ultimately ends up with San Fran and Seattle being tied right now towards the quote-unquote bottom of the NFC West. Not really bottom because they're both good, but they're technically tied for 3rd and 4th. So I got to give all the rookies credit. They did such a good job bouncing back. They looked a lot more poised, took some more chances, connected with their guys. Justin Fields was a lot more comfortable in the Bears offense this week compared to last week. I have to give these kids props. When they were all down bad last week, they stepped up, and that's what it's all about on a week-by-week basis in the NFL. Can you shake off the bad weeks and come back with good ones? And then the second part of my winners here, I just praised all of the rookie quarterbacks. Let me give some props to these young college quarterbacks that are going to be coming into the NFL soon, because I know from the group chat, I'm nowhere near a college football savant by any stretch of the imagination. So I look to those of you that actually pay attention to college football and what you guys say. And I've heard from several people, our guys at OTBN included, that this isn't necessarily the strongest rookie QB draft class to this point. There are some potential guys, there are some names here, but they haven't wowed you like guys have done in the past, like Trevor Lawrence and his class of guys, like Joe Burrow did his final year, etc. But when I look at what happened in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, 1-3 start, and Matt Ryan, aside from like a half, we know he's not the same guy anymore. When we know Pittsburgh needs a new starting quarterback because Big Ben is absolutely done. Someone said last week he should retire during the season, and stand by that statement. When you look at some of these teams such as New Orleans, who I think, to me, it was already proved. Jameis Winston is a solid quarterback, but he's nowhere near the quarterback of the future. And there's a reason. If Jameis is playing decent and Taysom Hill can't get playing time, New Orleans starting quarterback of the future isn't there yet. You just have all these teams that are likely going to have to look at the quarterback position come the draft. And while this may not be the strongest quarterback draft class, wants and needs create a desire to take chances. And on the quarterback position, that's the position most teams will take the chance on more often than anything else. So I gotta praise, well, not even praise, I gotta say congrats to these young quarterbacks, because some of them may get drafted a couple spots higher than we're thinking right now. Just because a lot of teams, as of now, they look like they're going to need young QBs in their on their rosters come next season.
Cruz, what you got?
So I got two for you. Both are young quarterbacks, so kind of tying into going with the theme. First is Kyler Murray, put on an absolute clinic yesterday. He I'm so glad I was afraid when you picked Jerk first that he was going to take Kyler, because I just feel like it's an obvious one. Yeah, Kyler played great yesterday, going up against the team that we all figured was not only going to win that division, but many people had as a high chance to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, right behind Tampa Bay. So for Kyler Murray to come, the game was in LA as well, I believe. So for him to go on the road, which we were told yesterday is still very hard to do, despite the team that you're playing is still hard. They're still pros, I guess. So he goes on the road against a good team, against Aaron Donald, and lights them up. Just like the score, I don't even think the game was as close as the score entails or shows that it was.
And it wasn't close on the scoreboard either.
Right, and it wasn't even that close on the scoreboard, but just the way Kyler Murray dominated the game. So he's one of my biggest winners. Number two, my guy Joe Burrow over there in Cincy. Cool, calm, and collected. Was down late, had to get that drive going on primetime football in front of his home fans, almost in front of his hometown. I don't remember how far Athens is from Cincinnati, but it's not that far. Drives down the field and sets his team up to win. And I love the sound after that drive. I can't remember the exact words he said, but he said something to the effect of, "Just put the ball in my hands. It's over."
Moxie.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a Georgia kid, but I digress. Mo.
So before I go with any biggest winner, here's what great people do, and we do it at Off the Ball Network, and here's the precedent. So first off, I'm glad Rob brought one up, because I'm gonna bring that up. Me and Rob had a arguing conversation, great debate, but we argued coming into the draft who was gonna be the better quarterback, Joe Burrow or Tua. I was team Tua. Rob was team Burrow. Up to this point, Rob is 100% right. Joe Burrow is a lot better quarterback than Tua, and I got to hang that on my chin. Get beat up about it. Hey, you thought Tua was going to be better than Burrow? I did. I take that on my chin. Another one is, and it's still not over, but I hang it on my chin, is that I picked Arizona to be last in the NFC West. We can talk about, in the chat, we talked about where everybody put everybody else, but I was the one guy who put Arizona last. Everybody else pretty much rocked with Seattle, had Arizona third or second. So I got to hang that on the chin right now. Up to that point, if anybody was what we would say dead ass wrong about placing anybody anywhere, it'd be me placing Arizona at last place. So I got to hang those L's on my chin first, just because I'm glad he brought up Joe Burrow being a winner, because he's 3-1 right now.
So Cruz is your biggest winner this week? Winner?
If we made it personal, Cruz is the biggest winner. Like, Cruz would have to be my biggest winner if we made it personal, arguing back and forth, or not even arguing, debating, producing great content while doing it. Cruz has to be the biggest winner because he's right. He's 2-0. I'm wrong, 0-2. But if I had to be real, I'm going to go the bias route first, and I'm going to shed some light on my Cowboys. I have to, but I have to shed light on one player, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. Between last week and this week, Zeke, whether we look like he's worth the money, but what he did against the Carolina Panthers, and we could talk about it's a two-way fence. You could sit on the middle of the fence and decide whether Carolina's defense was as good as advertised statistically, or it was just the fact they hadn't run into an offense as effective as a Dallas Cowboys offense, which you would have as a top 10 offense. Zeke murdered the number one rushing defense. Zeke murdered they gave up 45 yards per game. Zeke ran for almost 150. And I understand they haven't faced a running back like Zeke. They haven't faced the offense with a quarterback like Dak Prescott. So it's not to necessarily give full-blown credit, but for Zeke, he's gotten it going the past 2 weeks. He's looking like, hey, they're starting to feed him more, and he's starting to get it going. And he's not looking like trade bait anymore. He's looking like the Cowboys' #1 running back. And it almost looks like at 3-1, the Dallas Cowboys are back to the recipe that had them winning early on when it was Dak and Zeke. Feed Zeke, do what the defense gives you, and win games. That's what they did their rookie year. Dak played really good as a rookie quarterback, but they fed Zeke. They gave what the defense gave them. If it calls for Dak to throw for 300 yards, it happened. If it calls for Zeke to run for 150 plus, it happened. That's what the Cowboys are back at, but this time with a 1-2 punch, having Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. So what they're doing right now offensively is absolutely amazing. So I have to give Zeke, he's one of the biggest winners. And then I have to give, as one of the biggest winners, bro, I got to give Tom Brady. Like, at the end of the day, Tom Brady won the game, the return back home. We can talk about his performance wasn't the greatest. We can talk about whether he outperformed or he got outperformed by Mac Jones or not. We can talk about why Bill Belichick got the best of him. But at the end of the day, he did what needed to be done. He returned back to New England and got the victory. And so Tom Brady has to be one of the biggest winners because he gets to leave out of that. And no matter whether we weigh it on Belichick or whether we weigh it on Brady, they went mano y mano because that's what we made this Bucs versus Patriots game about. Tom Brady is 1-0 against Bill Belichick. He has a win against Bill Belichick, something many coaches can never say, something many organizations can never say, let alone something an individual quarterback can say, I have a win and Bill Belichick has never beaten me. Tom Brady gets to continue that legacy by winning that game on Sunday night.
Yeah. So I gotta bring in my boy. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry from the bottom of my heart. But Jelani, you here, man? What's going on, man? I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. You know what's all, man.
I gotta change my
His
answer now.
segment is next.
His
segment is next.
That's
foul.
The segment is next.
That's foul.
Don't do
I came in right on time for it.
All right, so Jelani, man, your biggest winner this week.
My biggest winner, I think. Well, just piggybacking off of Mo, I think obviously Tom Brady. Like I said, I don't think obviously he didn't play up to standards. A lot of people felt he was nervous, whatever the case may be. But one of the only people to say that you beat all 32 teams, like, and you beat your old coach, that's obvious win in my book.
And he got the record.
And he
I
got the
forgot
record
to say
too.
that. And he got the all-time passing yards record.
Yeah.
Which,
Really,
real quick, I'm sorry, Jelani.
I was going to say
that was the weakest thing in the world. That was the weakest celebration in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I just want that to be known. That was very messed up. That he breaks it in Foxborough, and all they get is we're going to move the ball 1 yard for him to break the record and continue to drive. Yeah. I'm sorry. That was absolute BS on New England's part and on the NFL's part to allow Tom Brady breaking the record to fold like that.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be just anything different, something different. I thought during the broadcast they were saying something like they might stop it for like maybe a minute or whatever, have him congratulate, wave, whatever the case may be. But nah,
it's Bill Belichick. Do we really expect?
But that was so screwed up, bro. Like Drew Brees got to take a picture with his family.
Yeah,
and here Tom Brady is like, "Hey, come on, guys! They moved it up a yard." Like he didn't even know.
Exactly. But outside of him, I don't know if it's really considered a big winner in my book. It may be more just personal. But I think Seahawks winning against the 49ers because they easily could have lost that game. They would have been 1-3, bottom of the division. And the way they've lost the last two games against the Tennessee Titans and what did they lose to? Tennessee Titans and the Vikings, then like I said, it just builds for just bad momentum with that team. And a lot of people, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cruz maybe have him at the bottom of the stands in NFC West. A lot of people don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. And
yeah, I had them a lot higher, so I would have became the biggest.
I had them too
if they lost that game.
I was Rams. I had them too. So I think, like I said, Seattle definitely pulling out that win, even with Russ only throwing like 23 times or something like that. Made some miraculous plays. I think that was good for them, and on the road as well. So to me, Seattle. Overall, to me, I guess it's a big win just because they're staying in that race with, the Cardinals being the Rams and, Rams now being 3-1. They still have a slim shot at, more than likely not going to win the NFC West, but they have a slim shot of, at least staying in the race and, obviously pushing forward to their playoff hopes. So that's my other one.
Yeah, and going back to your guys' point with the Drew Brees passing thing, it pissed me off because obviously I was on a Monday Night Football game against my beloved Washington football team, and I was like, "Can this be over with? Can this be over with?" That was like a 5-10 minute. Like I went to the bathroom and everything, and at Cat back he was still doing his thing. I'm like, "Bro, stop. we got a game to win." But I got a couple of biggest winners. I think, like you talked about, I think Arizona, obviously, shadow of doubt, the biggest winner of the week. But shout out to the New York Giants and the New York Jets, the New York, New Jersey, the tri-state area. Your guys gonna be this is a happy moment for everybody in the tri-state area. I cannot believe this. This is a good and this is the thing. We looked at this team last week. We were all looking at, hey, we might have 2 0-17 teams in the NFL. We were literally headed that way last week. And now you see both of them get good quality wins in overtime, which that's a testament to them. Definitely the babyface assassin did it again, had his best game of his career this far, as said Jared. He's more than just a cover boy in your 6th grade algebra book. I think he's more than just that. So that, and then great win for both teams. Like you said, Jelani's point. I think the Seahawks, even though I know it's 4 games in, but I think they really saved their season with that victory. Yeah. Especially, and they won it in kind of an ugly fashion because they were pretty much out. As far as from a statistical standpoint, San Francisco had pretty much the advantage because I think Seattle only had 234 total yards and still won that game. Compared to, I think San Francisco almost had 457, I think, or 56 total yards. So that's just like you said, that's another testament to them in Seattle. I still think they're going to be at the bottom tier, but they, in essence, saved their season this week with that. So, and once again, vintage Russ, he did his thing. 16 for 23. He did his thing. So definitely huge shout out to Russell Wilson, the 2-time Richard Time Dispatch Player of the Year. But I digress. So, fellas, right? Let's who's the biggest loser? Rob,
could we say this all at once? Like, could we say
Can we please?
Is it like a 1, 2, 3? Like Houston, Walker Texas, Bailey? Like, is that a serious thing? Like, is that a real thing? Like, hey, everybody on 3 who's the biggest loser? Like 1, 2, 3. Walker Bailey. Like,
I legit wrote his name down. He's number 3. He's the 3rd biggest loser behind Tannehill and Vrabel. Anybody really associated with that Titans organization right now, whether you're in the front office, on the field, or you're a fan at this point, who talks a lot of trash about other people's teams, and how, remember in the offseason, right? Let me take y'all back to about April, May time frame.
Yes.
How Tannehill was the best thing since sliced bread. Nobody gave him credit for anything he ever did in his life. And Adam Gase is the reason this guy was always trash. And Tannehill's the second coming of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger, all combined into one being manifested into what Jesus himself wanted a quarterback to be. And I don't care. I do not care that your 2 receivers were gone. You still had Derrick Henry in the back, and you lost to the damn Jets.
It was supposed to be a low management
game.
You
lost to the Jets. You're going to sit here and say that Tannehill is a top 8, top 6, top 5 quarterback. You lost to the Jets. Even without A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, your wide receiver core is still light years above what the Jets' entire offense is. Given Derrick Henry he got 30-something carries, 176 yards. He did his thing. Ryan Tannehill, 30 passes, 298 yards. Zach Wilson, 9 less passes on like 15 less attempts, 297 yards. You got out. Jesus himself got outplayed by Zach Wilson. We were just saying 2-3 weeks ago was the worst pick since Jamarcus Russell. And he couldn't do anything. He has looked like absolute trash. This is the same Zach Wilson that 2 weeks ago, at one point in his game, had 4 pass attempts, 4 interceptions. You let this man this child, this 6th grade algebra book model, go toe to toe with you, get 1 less yard on 9 less passes, on like 15 less attempts? Bro, get out of here. Tannehill's done. I'm not saying he's done. I'm just saying he's done. But just all the mess that was talked over this past offseason about how great Tannehill was. And he was really the only one. Like, we all agree that Tannehill was good, that Adam Gase was a true reason as to why he didn't succeed in Miami. But none of us were putting him in the status that Walker was. And for this man to lose the way he did, it's embarrassing. I feel bad for him personally, a little bit. Not really, though.
Not really, though.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
He lost to the Jet.
I mean, when you talk like that, you got to back it up. That's why I stay humble.
To the Jets.
Jelani?
Man, outside of, I won't even touch that game. I'm gonna talk about it later. I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow.
Oh no,
Matt Ryan and Cordell Patterson definitely are bigger losers because they have to deal with the atrocious defense that we have over there that can't make tackles, that can't cover guys, that watch people catch passes in the back of the end zone. But I digress from them. My biggest loser is going to be the Steelers.
And he held him too, but that's not the point.
I don't hear that. There's a lot. That game. I'm not even gonna
We're not about to do this.
Steelers,
not about to do this.
Steelers are my biggest losers because they have to still deal with Ben Roethlisberger. For everything that Jerk said last week, you can see it. I mean, I know, and I don't think anybody really picked them to beat the Packers, but it's just showing that their struggles are going to continue as long as he's their quarterback. They're frustrated. I know everyone saw Juju throw the iPad down, and I forgot what the tweet was, but it was like when you're mad that you passed up on going to KC or the Ravens to and Big Ben.
TikTok was down.
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, and it was because TikTok was down. So I mean, they're gonna be my biggest losers because obviously their division just continues to get better. Even though the Bengals are 3-1, I mean, even though the Bengals are 3-1, and they're their wins haven't been like the greatest of wins, but they're a 3-1 team. They're improving. They're obviously light years right now ahead of the Steelers, being that they're 2 games up. Obviously, the Ravens are also 3-1, and then the Browns are still undefeated. So they're just falling by the wayside. More than likely, their playoff hopes are, even though it's 4 weeks in, they're dwindling away. And so is, I guess, Big Ben's arm, his year, his what they call it, the farewell tour is not looking good. So they're my biggest losers because they got to continue to deal with him.
Yeah. So Jelani, who your favorite TikToker between the two? Jackson Mahomes. Stop throwing.
Nah, I'm not even answering that. I'm not answering that.
Bro. Juju or Patrick Mahomes' little brother.
Y'all want to answer? I ain't touching
the fact that you got to refer to him as Patrick Mahomes' little brother.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's
Jackson
everything.
Mahomes. It
is Jackson Mahomes. His TikToks are trash. I'm just I can't dance to save my life. But like the TikTok, all he does is TikTok trends and dances, which I get. That's how a lot of people make their.
What's his last name though? What's his last name? Mahomes. That's it. He has millions of followers. Boom. Crazy. Doesn't matter.
He dances how Patrick Mahomes walks. Patrick Mahomes, he walks like he has, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but Patrick Mahomes dead ass walks like he has a stick up his ass. You ever see him after a play and he kind of does that speed walk?
Yeah.
He's like he's straight up and just like that's how Jackson Mahomes dances.
It's terrible. I hate dances. I hate his account as a whole. I don't think I've ever seen one that popped up like on my little thing anyway. So that's one thing I thank the good Lord for because I would not want to see
on
that.
TikTok though.
Nah.
You on TikTok.
We on
Jelani still the off the ball network TikTok superstar. Like we ain't forget about that. Like I mean Jelani be TikToking now. God. Like come on now. He be he TikTok pregame. I saw the Mercedes Benz. He TikTok pre.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest loser?
Moving on.
What you got, Mo? Who your biggest loser?
All right, so I have a lot of big losers. I'm not gonna go down the list and explain them. I'm with Jelani on Pittsburgh. I have 2 that I'm gonna talk about, but I'm with Jelani on Pittsburgh. That was one of them. We talked about Walker Bailey and the Titans. I'm not gonna continue to dig on him the Titans losing to the Jets is just probably the most tragic thing you could ever do in life. But so I'm gonna go with my number two of one, and I'm gonna go with Baker Mayfield. The Cleveland Browns won. I fully understand that. Let's talk about that viral throw that everybody saw, that Odell Beckham Jr., who we expected to have a bounce back season coming off an ACL injury, wide open. A $40 million quarterback. And that's the precedent that we're setting at. A guy is on a contract year. And what is it with the quarterback position? Next man up. It's just like the superstars in the NBA. Next man up. I just watched that superstar or all-star, high-caliber all-star player get paid $35 million. I need at least 37. So we just watched Dak Prescott get paid 40. We just watched Josh Allen get his deal. We just watched Patrick Mahomes get his 10-year long-term deal for essentially up to $50 million a year. Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson are up next. Lamar Jackson got the W and looked good while doing it. Baker Mayfield got the W 14-7. First off, you're telling me a $40 million quarterback puts up 14 points against a Vikings defense that we've seen Joe Burrow look good against, that we've seen Kyler Murray look good against. You start there with Baker Mayfield, and then you start with the fact he had an awful game against the Vikings, and he topped it off with a viral missed opportunity for a touchdown to seal the game with Odell Beckham Jr. We can talk about viral things don't matter, but it's the fact that it is now on Front Street. Baker Mayfield has yet to have an impressive game. The Browns are 3-1. They are a really good team, if not a great team, in spite of Baker Mayfield, not because of Baker Mayfield. Case Keenum could do exactly what Baker Mayfield is doing, and the Cleveland Browns would still be 3-1 with Case Keenum at quarterback. I solely believe that because no injury matters until Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt get injured. That's when injuries start mattering. No injuries matter until Jadeveon Clowney or Myles Garrett start getting hurt, or JOK at linebacker, or Denzel Ward at corner. That's when injuries matter for the Cleveland Browns. A hurt quarterback to go to Case Keenum, they're still 3-1. Case Keenum at a way less money rate is getting paid exactly to do what he'd be 3-1 with the Cleveland Browns. I solely believe that. He might even be 4-0. Maybe they beat the Chiefs, maybe not. I won't even put that on them. They're 3-1. I'll put it like that. They're the same record with Case Keenum as they are Baker Mayfield. And this is talking about a quarterback that you're talking about locking up for the near future. We saw Josh Allen get paid for the next 5 to 6 years at almost $300 million. We saw Mahomes get locked up for 10 straight years. We're trying to see what Lamar Jackson is worth. We saw Dak get paid his $40 million. And so that's kind of the precedent that Baker Mayfield is at. And in no way, shape, or form is Baker Mayfield set at a $40 million quarterback. He's in the 20s in all major aspects except for completion percentage. But when you dink and dunk and don't have a lot of touchdowns, you don't throw a lot of interceptions, but you also don't have a lot of touchdowns and also are 20-something in yards, your dink and dunk completion percentage, you better complete a lot of passes to Kareem Hunt or short routes to Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. That's just being honest. But the biggest loser, only because I'm not sure, if I was to bet my money on somebody who would bring it up, it would be Couch Coach. But I don't know if he's going to bring it up because I don't know if he's going to go that route. So I am Urban Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Urban Meyer is the biggest loser. Bro, what he did in the offseason, not in the offseason, in the weekend, getting caught up, viral, dancing with girls, and being on girls' Instagram story, taking pictures, talking about, I don't know who this is, but he's flirting with me. When you got a wife at home, that's the biggest L you can take, my guy. Bro, you had a Thursday night game. Not only did you lose, that's an L in itself. Yeah. And you haven't won a game in the NFL yet. But you go out clubbing this weekend and allow these young, beautiful women to post you on their Instagram story. And these girls don't know who Urban Meyer is. They had no idea. And these were girls who weren't interested in football unless they went to UF or Ohio State fans or somehow happened to be Jacksonville Jaguars fans. They had no idea who this man was. And you go viral for letting these girls, these young girls, twerk on you while you have a beautiful wife at home, a beautiful family with kids. Urban Meyer is the biggest loser because what do we tell all people? If you're going to do dirt, don't get caught. And guess what Urban Meyer does? Go to a bar and gets caught doing his dirt. He's the biggest loser. I had to throw it out there. I felt like if anybody was to do it, it'd be Couch Coach or Rob, just because. But because I wanted to be Couch Coach to it, Urban Meyer is the biggest loser.
And you know what? I kind of was going to allude to it because I was like, to me, he's grinding his way to LA. So at this point,
he's grinding his way to be a USC Trojan.
That's exactly what I was waiting for my chance to say. Mo, you are dead wrong. He's the biggest winner for that. This guy is so smart. He has faked a heart attack. He's pretty much faked a heart attack at every stop he's been to when he's felt like, okay, I've done what I could. At Utah, he did what he could. He went as far as you could go at Utah with Alex Smith. He said, then he got his job at Florida. Then he went and won 3 out of 4 national championships with Tim Tebow. All right, cool. I'm done here. Yeah, I'm sick. I can't do it anymore. Then he waits for USC or for Ohio State to open up. Then he goes and does the Ohio State thing, wins national championship right off the bat, and then realizes, okay, it's a little bit harder, but he's still consistently in that conversation. And he's like, okay, I've done what I could here, but I never lost to Michigan. So that in and of itself is something to brag about.
Legendary.
Being a coach at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he says, okay, I'm sick again. I can't do it because he wants to go pro. Then he goes pro and realizes, man, this ain't it. I have much more control in college where I had my pick of the litter. I could go to the best schools in the best states in California, in Ohio, in Texas, in Florida. Go to IMG Academy. Go to Mater Dei. Go to the De La Salle and be like, hey, come play for me. This dude was getting number 1 quarterbacks every single year, knowing damn well these kids knew damn well they weren't going to play, but still getting number 1 quarterbacks. Dude gets number 1 receiver. He gets 1, 2, and 3 receivers in the same recruiting class, knowing damn well they're not going to play a lot. He's realizing he don't like the NFL.
But let me ask you this.
This dude is wiggling and winning his way into LA.
But let me ask you,
what does LA have more of than anywhere else? Beautiful women.
But let me ask you this, Rob. I just want to put this in perspective because I know, and I want everybody to answer this honestly, only because I know it's going to be one conclusion of answer. Kenneth, you are soon to be married. Rob, you are married, and I am married. So we all can answer this question honestly. If this video, if that video, you put us in Urban Meyer's place and that video gets sent to our wives, what are you? A loser, because your wife gonna leave you. So therefore you are the biggest loser. Nobody cares about, like, I understand where you coming from about him being the biggest winner. Boom, once again, he bought his way out of somewhere else with bad publicity or whatever. I'm with you on that. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm saying put ourselves, Kenneth, who is soon to be married, Rob, who is married, and I am married, put that in a situation, that same exact video gets sent to our wives or in Kenneth's place, soon to be wives, and what are we? Losers. Because we got caught going out, getting drunk, and doing the wrong thing. We are losers. And so therefore, I'm not going to let Urban Meyer slide just because he's a millionaire and did some dumb stuff. He's the biggest loser because he went out, had fun, and got caught. That's what happens. You're a loser.
Let me ask you something. If you don't, obviously you don't have to answer this, but I'm gonna ask you this: what's your net worth? What's your net worth? You don't even don't even give me a number. Is it 35 million? Is your net worth 35 million? No.
So see, Rob is going that money allows us to do whatever. That's the route he's going.
Dirty.
But in the sense of, bro, Urban Meyer has been married to his wife for forever, has had kids with her, like has had a long family. That just because we're worth 35 million doesn't turn the fact that, like, oh yeah, we can step out on our wives now because, like, bro, we got millions of dollars to shut it up. Yeah, that's the first, bro. What if we see Urban Meyer go viral for getting caught up? We've never heard about Urban Meyer
before being viral was a thing.
But what I'm saying is, bro, look, he didn't have people go to jail. He'd have people go to jail under his watch. He'd have murderers under his watch. He'd have everything else, and we never trip. But guess what Urban Meyer hasn't done? He hasn't got caught. It's not stepping out because we don't know how that night ended, but it is. At the same time, like, bro, when you're married, you might as well have cheated because under that circumstance, when that proof gets sent to your wife, you can't defend that. All you can say is, I'm sorry that I got a little too drunk and made a bad decision. When that gets sent to your wife, you can't say, oh, yeah, It was a mistake. That's not me. You can't say that. That's out the window. You got caught. You're a biggest loser for getting caught. Urban Meyer and virally got caught in the whole world, not even America, the whole world, the whole Twitter nation, on Instagram, Facebook, however you want to look at it. Everybody knows that Urban Meyer is a dirtbag of a husband for going out and doing that. Therefore, he's the biggest loser. I had to put it out there.
One thing my father always taught me growing up, he always told me this phrase. Anytime I got in trouble, anytime I got caught doing something, and he would ask me, how many times you do this? I tell him the same thing. This is the first time. He would tell me, for every roach you see on the stove, there's 1,000 behind it. For every time you get caught, or every time that we see him get caught, there's more behind. It's not his first time.
But getting caught is the worst.
I doubt it's first.
Getting caught is the worst. He's one of the biggest losers for getting caught virally. He went viral for having a young woman, and I'm only gonna say I'm saying a young woman because she might have just been a single female out there enjoying her time, and a young woman goes out there and enjoys her chance with the opportunity of being with a sugar daddy, and boom, her sugar daddy is worth $35 million. Boom.
How do you know him and his wife don't have like a open relationship? What if they got a little agreement?
He's a loser.
A little agreement.
Welcome to the show, Kenneth.
Have an agreement. You want me to tell you why? No. You want me to tell you why? I know him and his wife don't have an agreement. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna say this once, and I never say it again. And Couch Coach, I'm sorry that I'm saying this on Overreaction Monday. I hope this is gonna take it the wrong way. Him and his wife don't have an agreement. You know why? Because white people don't do that. That doesn't happen. That's why. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done with the conversation on Kenneth. You don't do that.
Kenneth left. A special guest in the frame now. What's going on, Kenneth? I know you've been waiting for
I'm not getting caught on camera when Mo's saying stuff like that. Like, you kidding me? Like,
but that's a fact. Like, they don't do that.
Okay.
Marriage is sacred. You don't do that.
You'll start seeing pineapples, upside down pineapples. Trust me.
But I'm saying, like, they don't do that. And here's why I say, like, Monique spoke.
Kenneth, your biggest loser.
Kenneth, your biggest loser.
Yeah, so hold on. Yeah. Divorce companies, please send me.
They're the biggest winners this week.
So we can, we can kind of drum up some type of sponsorship on the show because topics like this gonna get people divorced. So Kenneth, your biggest loser.
Mo. For that. I mean, it's Denver for me because we talked all week about how, they're 3-0, but they haven't played anybody. And it's like, well, we got to see. And they went up 7-0 and then didn't score again. And they did it at home. They lost 23-7. They couldn't even in garbage time get a touchdown because Teddy got hurt, which is another reason why they're a big loser because now they have to watch Drew Lock again. And I'm off the Drew Lock train. I know I was on it, but holy hell, was that tough to watch. And then he goes down and then he throws a pick. And it's like, oh, okay, well, they can't even put up any points when Teddy goes down. So they got to be a big loser now. I think it's pretty much solidified that by the time the season's done, they're going to be last place in that division. Like, because even if Teddy only misses a few weeks, like I don't think he can come back and like they haven't played anyone. Like this was the cupcake part of their schedule. Now they're about to. They haven't even played it within the division yet. So you got to play Chargers twice, Chiefs twice, Raiders twice. Like they might not win a division game if Drew Lock's their quarterback. So Denver's the big loser, and then just Mo for all of that. For like the worst intro to Overreaction Monday of all time. Like, wow.
Kenneth, you ain't even married yet, but you made the smartest move on tonight's show.
I mean, but I'm fine with what I said. But it's fine with what I said. My wife will see what I said. To label that a guy that got caught is the biggest loser, like any married person would say that. I know Rob went the biggest winner route. Like, you could. He's on the fence. He could be the biggest winner or biggest loser. But I'm going the biggest loser because for the simple fact, any married man will look at that video and be like, "Boy, I know he didn't got cussed out. Boy, I know his wife want to leave him." But, and then you'll go on the biggest winner side and everything that Rob said, but he is worth $34 million. Like, boy, I know she ain't going nowhere. But that's so. It's both sides of the fence.
both sides.
I just say he the loser
Honestly.
because losers get caught.
Yeah, I was
Like,
say,
and
Rob
that's what
might be in
happened.
trouble more than
Well,
Mo.
yeah. Well, you know, not having the stands whatsoever. Smartest man in the room. Jerk. What you got?
Yeah, I got to sacrifice my smart card here. I'm gonna just say one thing about the whole ordeal. I'm gonna just say one thing, and then that's it.
Yeah.
If Jeff Bezos got divorced and he had to pay all that money, it don't matter. 34 million, get out of here. When the richest man in the world had to pay all that, get out of here. So no, I'm not gonna go into winner and loser. I'm just saying, like, yeah, 34 million. Hey, we should leave him. Look who left Jeff Bezos. Like, get out of here with that. Like, Urban Meyer not safe. Ain't nobody not safe. And like,
Bill Gates got a divorce. Just throw that out.
Exactly,
There.
right.
like,
Ain't nobody safe. When you got a viral video like that, ain't nobody safe. Bill Gates got a divorce and Jeff Bezos got a divorce and got to pay some money. $35 million ain't nothing to what Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates got. So ain't nobody safe when it comes to getting caught up like that.
And
Thank you, Jerk.
Jeff Bezos got that divorce in 2 to 3 business days.
The thing is, he made up for all that money. Yeah, I was gonna say,
Right.
There was nothing prime about that divorce.
That's a good one, Kevin. So my real biggest loser. There's a saying that I strongly believe in life, boys, and is that there is no better kind of kill than overkill. So the Tennessee Titans are my biggest loser this week. I don't care if we've already talked about it. I have never held this amount of vitriol to Ryan Tannehill in my life, because I think one of the biggest losers this week will be his therapist, because I think he had Miami PTSD after every single time he got sacked against the Jets. By the way, the Jets get 7 sacks on you? Really? So I'm going to leave that there.
But they're all professional.
But we're blaming Julio and
But they're
AJ
all
Brown being out.
The Tennessee Titans are the biggest loser this week. I'm personally angry because they killed the meme of the fact that the Jets could have gone 0-17. So I'm upset about that against them. But just like you said, Cruz said it best. And it's not just Walker, it's a couple people here and there spruced out in the media. Mm-hmm. Every single time that one of these average to above average quarterbacks tries to get elevated as to being in the same conversation as the guys that are solidified in the top 8, top 10, it always annoys me. Because there is a clear difference between Rodgers, Brady, and even Breeze last year, despite the fact that I myself said that his arm was gone last season to the end. There's a clear difference between those guys and Ryan Tannehill and Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins and whoever else you want to put in that conversation. So whenever you try to enter someone in that top tier convo, they better get the job done. Tom Brady took, I forget which Giants Super Bowl was. It may have been, I think it was the second one. His defense that season was one of the worst in the league. Brought them to the Super Bowl. They almost won it against the Giants in that second one. Drew Brees for years had a garbage New Orleans Saints team around him. Like only 1 or 2 weapons on offense, nobody on defense, and they were 8-8 every single year. They never became a 2-win team because it was Drew Brees. Aaron Rodgers has carried Wisconsin for a decade in football. He made it to the NFC Championship game with Jeff bleeping Janis. So if you're going to be in that convo, I don't care if AJ Brown and Julio Jones are out for a game. Yeah. You better win that game if it's against the Jets and you didn't get it done. I want to hear zero conversation for the rest of time that Ryan Tannehill deserves to belong in the top 10 QB conversation at any point. Because you lost that game that Aaron Rodgers, that Russell Wilson, that Brady, and all of them would win. I don't understand why we continue to entertain mediocre quarterbacks going into the convo here and there. If you want to say he was top 10 for a week, fine. For a game, fine. But for a season?
Half a season?
No. Not even half the season, coach. I'm sorry. No. Just no, man. It's not allowed. You can't lose that game. You can't. So, yeah, the Titans are my biggest loser. And by the way, and this has been a stick in my craw the entire time when it comes to the Tennessee Titans. Every single time I see someone in particular say something about Ryan Tannehill should have thrown the ball more, they rely too much on Derrick Henry. They rely too much on Derrick Henry because Ryan Tannehill's your quarterback. How do you not make the correlation? Come on. It's not that hard.
Get him.
It's not that hard.
Get him.
It's as easy as 6th grade algebra, which is the look of the man who you lost to on the other side of things that played quarterback. You lost to a 6th grade algebra, textbook art, cover art model. By the way, I've actually tried to look for my 6th grade algebra textbook to see if there's like someone that looks like Zach Wilson on. Haven't found it yet. I'm still trying. But yeah, the Titans, Tannehill, all of that is just my biggest loser this week because my God, man.
Yeah, like you said, even with I definitely think that you said Tennessee definitely is. The points have been valid. Just think about it. Just because this was supposed to be a homecoming game in reverse, where essentially, even with having your 2 studs out, you should have took care of business. Because we looked at Tennessee as a team that can compete in the AFC potentially as maybe a second tier team in the AFC, and they're losing to by far the worst, the second worst team, the third worst team.
One of the worst teams in the NFL. Period. That's
one
just...
of them. But I gotta give it to their AFC South counterpart, the Houston Texans. 40-0. David Carr is not walking through that door, folks. Tony Baselli is not walking through that door. Andre Johnson's not walking through that door.
Matt Schaub.
Now,
what did you think they were going to do without Tyrod Taylor? Score 30 points?
No, but damn.
They got blanked, though.
Yeah.
They got blanked.
It's hard to get shut out. It's pretty hard to get shut out.
Hold on.
It's Davis Mills.
109 yards in total.
Yeah.
61 passing yards, 48 rush. I get, and I say
they have the ball.
This is hyperbole. Yeah, exactly. All 6 of us, if we play the skill position, can at least get 110 yards.
With TJ Yates as our quarterback. Don't
disrespect my nephew. UNC. Don't disrespect TJ Yates like that.
I wouldn't even make backup water boy on the Texans. I'm not throwing my name in there.
But hey,
I can't even walk unassisted. I'm not throwing my name in there.
Unless we're wheeling Mo down the field.
Even if you're on the IR, we have you ready at least in some form. I do exercise in hyperbole, but my goodness, 109 yards, that's hard. We've witnessed bad offenses, and like you said, Davis Mills at least put 3 up, put something up. I didn't expect much from him, but to lose 40-0,
that's down the field one time and
can we point out
back?
Coach,
what did you expect?
Can we point out the fact that Jamal Agnew's kick return off that field goal attempt was equal to their
He's tied. Jamal, he's tied.
But what did we expect against a surging defense with Davis Mills? I get your biggest loser. I'm not, but what did you expect? You said that your biggest loser. What did you expect? Did you expect the Houston Texans to score 21 points?
Because they look like
Davis Mills has been bad.
They look like
they have looked like a Division III football team ever since Tyrod Taylor has not been the quarterback. I didn't expect any difference.
But they did all right against Carolina, though. They did okay against Carolina, and there was a number 1 defense at the time during that Thursday night game.
And I even say Carolina. That shows Carolina's defense was a little overrated, but
still, the NFL is NFL. I understand that it's pros.
Okay, Walker.
Walker.
You stepping up the Walker line.
No, but I'm at a point where I'm thinking to myself, nothing. This offense can't do anything. These grown men, they got to pay bills, pay rent. Baby needs shoes. Baby mama need a Birkin bag, red bottoms.
Bro, name me the 3 best players on the Texans, though.
But still, even with that,
Larry Tunsil.
Brandon Cooks is wide receiver.
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram is a backup running back for any other team. Brandon Cooks is a wide receiver 2.
Justin Reed
on another team.
Justin Reed is good.
But the fact that you only had, like you said, 109 yards combined. You know how minuscule that is, as far even the George point.
I thought Justin Fields was that quarterback.
Bro, Justin Fields had 40 yards, and we're talking about the Texans having 100? Justin Fields and the Bears had 40.
Combined. He had 61 passing yards. I think Justin Fields had what?
Net yards, the Bears, we were talking about last year, net yards. last week, Justin Tucker's field goal was more than positive net yards the Chicago Bears had. And that was 66.
Yeah.
A 66-yard field goal. At least the Texans got over 66.
Well,
The Bears were horrible. Justin Fields he had like 60 pass yards, but he also got sacked like 9 times.
But to
Bro,
get
I don't know how the Tech, like, I get it. I'm not arguing your point, but it's like you were adamant on the Texans being the biggest loser, and it's like, I mean, bro, they played the Bills with Drew Mills or whatever his name is, Davis Mills. He got 2 last names.
Nick Mills.
Yeah, he got whatever his name is. He got 2 last names, Davis Mills or whatever.
But because we already hopped on to Tennessee, I think we all know that Tennessee. We even thought even with the low.
I think they're the
wide
flat out
receivers,
biggest losers.
I mean, no doubt. But like you said, that's the overkill. But I look at this being 109 total yards. Like I said, if we all was healthy, not even healthy. Current where we are, we just put up 109.
I'm sorry, Bo ain't doing a damn thing for us.
I'm only calling plays. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but the best I can do is call plays because I ain't going nowhere.
that works.
You got to throw me the ball towards the sideline. I'm not taking no hit.
Get a few tight ends. You run the ball.
I got you.
I'm not matching up against it. Well, Jerk get to be the sacrificial lamb. Don't hand me the ball against them. I ain't doing that.
Last time I saw him,
I got no
he
heart.
was laying down.
On that field.
Well, I'm just saying.
Lay down.
All right, we just put 5 guys from the network.
I don't
Skill
care.
positions.
Tell me whatever you want.
We get 109 yards. We will get that.
I play golf.
No.
Like,
Hell,
you think I'm
you
going
can
out
get.
there?
Hey, Couch, I'm gonna be honest. I'd bet $10,000 against y'all. If we put the 5 most athletic, if we put the 11 most athletic OTBN guys on the field against that Bills defense, I'd bet $10,000 that y'all don't get no 100 yards. I'd almost bet that y'all finish in the negative yards, to be honest.
Professional athletes.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet like $10,000 that y'all finish in the negative yards, like negative 100 yards, like negative rush yards, negative sacks, and anything else. Yeah, 100%.
But even Jerk point, they didn't even have a position to put themselves in field goal range.
But even if if we put our network guys on the offensive line, bro, you tell me one guy who's stopping their worst defensive end.
Ain't no offensive line.
Everybody. Take tops and shorts, bro. We ain't doing all
I still take everybody, bro. They're gonna press you. They're gonna press us man to man at the line, and nobody's getting nowhere.
Yeah,
bro, even at my 100% healthiest, bro, I'm not catching a pass on the healthiest corner on Texans, bro. That's just period point blank, bro. He's gonna drive me back 40 yards, bro. It's a wrap. I'm gonna just fall.
I'm gonna get 1. I don't care. 1 out of 10. I'm gonna give me 1. It's gonna have to be a sideline screen.
$1,000 that doesn't happen.
I'm
putting
you're a starter
gonna be
with that
one.
attitude.
Bro, I'm putting them.
Target
Bro,
one catch for 2 yards.
Bro, I'm putting them. I'm putting them man coverage. No, bro, I'm putting them man coverage, bro. Their worst corner. I'm putting on Jelani man coverage at the line, bro. Jelani doesn't catch a single pass. He doesn't even get off the line, bro.
Catching one.
Jelani can get one.
I'm getting 1.
No, give him 10 routes, bro. He doesn't get a route. He doesn't even get the route. Yeah, you don't even get a route in. Period.
I'm telling you, I already know what route I'm running too.
It's not even it's not even a diss on Jelani, bro. It's just
I think
it's not even a diss on Jelani. Yeah, Thad throwing to Jelani don't complete 0 passes on 10 routes run, bro. Period. Period.
There's one Thad a punter at once upon a time. So he'll give us good field position.
Bro, I'd bet the house on that too, bro. My bad, but I bet the house on that too.
But yeah, so that's my biggest loser because we did the overkill with the Titans. But yeah,
the Jets, man.
Yeah, it's homecoming. It was supposed to be homecoming week for the Titans. I mean for the
Jets,
for the Titans.
Bro.
But yeah, man.
You also the Jets, bro.
Yeah. So let's wrap up Overreaction Monday this week. Biggest overreaction. What you got, Cruz?
Bengals are winning the division.
Oh Lord.
He said, "Oh Lord." The division.
Joe Burrow's going to lead them to that division title. Lamar Jackson is still going to be out of the league in 5 years. Ben Roethlisberger is garbage. And who's the other one? Baker. Yeah, we already know about Baker Mayfield. Cincinnati Bengals are winning the division.
All right. Jelani, what you got?
I don't think that's too wild.
That's a little wild. A little bit,
Yeah.
not fully. A little bit. I don't know.
You
I
put the
think
ball in Joe Burrow's hands, it's
who
over.
Kenneth, was it you that said that the Raiders are the worst 3-1 team
3-0, yeah.
or 3-0? Yeah, my fault. Yeah, the Bengals to me are one of the worst 3-1 teams outside of the Broncos. Broncos probably first, and then no. But dang, do I even have overreaction? My overreaction, I might say, I don't know. I feel like someone's gonna go weird with the Cowboys. Washington's gonna repeat as division.
Oh,
They're gonna
damn!
repeat as division NFC East
Damn!
champs. I think that might
Let's
happen.
go.
I think that might happen.
You even more
All
delusional
they
than me
really
and
have
Coach
to
right now,
do-
but okay, I'll take it.
Nice, bro.
All they really
God.
got it. It's against us. It was against our defense or whatever. But all they really need to do is shore up their. I don't know how they're gonna do it. They have to get a better secondary.
I will say this though, Jelani. I will say this. Looking at how this week 4 of the NFL just played out, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and Kansas City, are now looking like slightly more winnable games.
Yeah, that's all.
Those defenses are terrible.
Yeah,
I think New Orleans has a good, solid run defense. Tampa Bay defense isn't that great.
Their secondary is horrible.
Kansas City's defense is 31st in the league.
Exactly.
I think only Atlanta is worse.
We might be up there now. Yeah, we've been like 140 something points through this many games. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, and also Carolina and Denver now look pretty winnable.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kenneth, what you got?
Kyler Murray's already locked up MVP. He's going to go beat San Fran next week. He's going to beat Cleveland the week after. Then they play the Texans. They're going to be 7-0, and Kyler will have it wrapped up pretty early.
I like it.
Jesus Christ.
What you got, Mo?
Well, first off, I'm upset that like Jelani, I know he didn't scan the Cowboys schedule over the next 5 games to say that we're going to lose the division.
That's when he did it. Like,
yeah, like because I just want to point out, bro, the Cowboys next game they play the Giants, the Patriots, the Vikings, the Broncos, Falcons, all prior to playing the Chiefs. Like, first off, I'm glad Jelani said that because we're beating the Falcons now 40-0. I'm gonna make a call into Dak to make sure we do what the Bills did to the Texans. All right, so we wake up and realize the Falcons are the biggest loser. So I'm gonna call those names in. I'm gonna make the call. Me and Dak are gonna talk. But if I had to talk about my biggest overreaction, I'm gonna say it. Yep, I'm gonna say it because I've been sticking to it. Baker Mayfield should not, I won't say will not, should not be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year. And the reason I say that is because if Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year, he will come at a price that the Browns will regret in about 6 games starting next year. Baker Mayfield should not be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year because he is in a contract year, which either A, means they franchise tag him, which is stupid because he's not gonna do anything next year that he didn't do this year to show you he deserves the money. So that's dumb, 1. Or 2, he's a starting quarterback because you paid him even fairly close to what Dak got paid. And there's no way you could tell me up to this point through week 4 that Baker Mayfield has showed you that he's worth what Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, or even possibly what Lamar Jackson will get paid. Baker Mayfield hasn't shown he's worth any of those 5 quarterbacks who 4 have gotten paid and 1 is projected to get paid. He's not even worth none of their money lines of what they're about to get paid. So I would say my biggest overreaction will be Baker Mayfield won't be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year.
All right, Jared.
Shouldn't be. My bad.
Yeah. What you got, Jared?
Not bad. My biggest overreaction is I think the Dolphins are going to have a 10-11 loss season. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. I don't like what's happening with that team right now. Jacoby Brissett was supposed to at least make them look a little bit decent, and I haven't seen a lot from him as they wait for Tua to return eventually. And even with Tua, like the jury's still out on it. I've wanted to have hope in Tua since he came out because I felt if he had never had that hip injury, I think Tua would be a lot better to this point. We would know a little bit more about him. But we have to play with the cards that were dealt in this timeline. So I think with Tua, there's so many questions. Jacoby Brissett hasn't looked great. That offense is just stifled. They're constipated. Aside from a few lucky plays, like they honestly probably should have gotten shut out by the Colts in that last game. They really should have. So it was just a bad performance by them. That defense does not look the same. If you're throwing it to anyone aside from Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, you could break off a 50-yard play. It's just not looking good there. I had a sinking feeling going into this year that the Dolphins, I was kind of starting to lose some faith in them. And I'm starting to see a lot of the reasons why. I think they're headed towards like a 7-10 season, maybe 6-11 if it like bottoms out that bad. And I think Brian Flores, who we praised all of last season as he deserved, but I think he's going to enter this next offseason on a little bit of a hot seat with a double-digit loss season, because it's just not looking good in Miami, man. Like even if you don't make the playoffs this year, you should be better than this. Like they're not a good team. They're not a competitive team in half these games. And if you're a Belichick disciple, quote unquote, the best one from what it looks like, you're at least supposed to minimum be competitive. And if you're not even that in most of these games, like there's some trouble brewing in Miami, where they finally thought there was a little bit of ray of hope in this rebuild of theirs. It looks like they're taking a couple steps back.
Yeah. So the curse of Tom Brady will haunt New England Patriots for the rest of this franchise history. Tom Brady left in 2020. Their record since Tom Brady has left, they had their 12th loss yesterday against against, I think they're 8-12 since Brady left. The curse is on. So
it's like the Babe Ruth curse.
Yeah, it's the Babe Ruth curse. Yep. Until they make amends. It's the curse is active. So let's put a bow on this week's OverReaction Monday. I'm gonna go around the horn, fellas. Promote your projects and social media. Rob, what you got?
Y'all already know where you can find me, FNC Pod, on Twitter, Football and Chill Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. This Wednesday on Cruise Island, we're going to be talking about sportsmanship. Is it really as important as we think it is? Obviously, most of us, me and Mo, we have kids. And I think all of us growing up in sports, we were always taught sportsmanship, always, no matter how bad you beat somebody, good game, all that fun stuff. But as we just saw against the Denver Broncos, Jim Harbaugh, one of the Harbaugh brothers, whichever one is in Baltimore right now, is he ran it on, with 3 seconds left just to keep a record going. And, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of old heads, I would say, don't like it. I personally
winners
love
do.
it. So, hey, you don't like it, you should have stopped it. But so that's what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday. Obviously, to anybody on Off the Ball, it's an open invitation. I will send the link out. Just be on the lookout for that.
It's my turn.
Jelani, what you got?
Okay. Appreciate it. First overreaction Monday for me this year. Definitely will be looking forward to being on more. But NBA starting up. My Hawks are actually playing right now. I gotta catch that on NBA TV. But me, Hoopers, Hawks fan TV guy, and probably some other Hawks fans will be doing a show on Wednesday just to preview our Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. Well, I don't know if Kenneth announced it yet, but I'll let him announce it if he does. So I won't even say that. But I should be on some shows, some other people's shows soon as well. Me and Thad do, of course, a podcast called What the Game Means to Me. Pretty sure we'll do a show Wednesday, if not Thursday. Just going over the week, going over our pick'ems and all that as well. So appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah. Kenneth.
Yeah, you can follow me on all social platforms at shooters_pod. Shooter Shoot Basketball Podcast is back. Season 3, episode 1 is going to be next Tuesday night with special guest Jelani, who's never been on the show. So super looking forward to having him on to talk some hoops and talk some NFL and some other stuff in between. And go check out Off the Ball Network. We got a ton of great articles. We had Urson write a phenomenal one today, another great player profile. Francis breaking down some EPL. We got Prez tomorrow with his top 100 NBA players as well. So go check out all the great work that's being done over there. We got a lot of great writers.
All right. Mo, what you got?
Yeah, like Kenneth said, go to Off the Ball Network for all your sports needs and entertainment. Like I always say, I mean, we got people who write great articles, some soccer articles, which is very enlightening to me today as I read it, because Francis wrote a great article, and I'm starting to learn other sports from, the soccer fans like Edgar and Kenneth and Francis and other those guys. But reading their content is like I'm learning something, and actually getting to gain a knowledge and an interest in some of these sports. Hockey, obviously with Jerg, like Jerg has got, and Kenneth have got me into hockey a lot more than just caring about the Tampa Bay Lightning and when they win a championship. I guess you could say a bandwagon Homer fan, if that's what you want to call it. But you can follow me at Up in Flames Pod on Twitter and Instagram, Mo_Cheese15 on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram's back up, so it's right to say that you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook is back up. For those of you that watched it on Facebook, after Facebook being down all day, we appreciate y'all for staying loyal to the Facebook platforms of all of us, but especially the Facebook platform of my guy, Couch Coach Live. And yeah, like I said, just go to Off the Ball Network for everybody's dope content. And then, even follow us on Twitter, because that's when you get a real live look at, Bunts and Bruises is coming. Cruise Island is coming. Obviously, Kenneth is coming back. The Bell and Brown hour with Thad and Jelani. Like all that stuff you get to see on Off the Ball Network's Twitter page as a whole. Retweets everybody's stuff so you really get an insight. So follow us on Twitter at OTB, all caps _ and then network on Twitter. But that'll be a huge help. And Couch Coach, I appreciate you for having me on.
No problem. Sure, what you got?
For myself personally, it's at JerkK4 and IG and Twitter, but that's the least important thing to follow from what I'm about to say. Like Mo said, make sure you do follow the Off the Ball Network on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Mo name dropped himself at Bunts and Bruises on Twitter. Every Wednesday nights, we're just the beginning of your electric Wednesday nights. You start with us, you end with Cruise Island. It's just that is the way to spark up the middle of your week. You get BNB, and then you get Cruise Island to finish it out. This Wednesday, we're actually going to be talking the upcoming Major League Baseball playoffs, so we're very excited about that. Reacting to the AL wildcard game on Tuesday night, and then looking forward to everything else. Last week, we talked the Eastern Conference and the NHL as a preview. Next week, it'll be the West. Like, just baseball and hockey seasons are hitting like two perfect strides. Like, to an extent, hockey starting, baseball in its peak. So, BNB, we're gonna have some fun shows here this week, these next couple weeks, and I'm excited for it. So, yeah, just make sure you follow, and like the guy said, follow all these beautiful gentlemen here. Make sure you follow Coach and follow the network as a whole. Best 4-letter sports network in the world.
Yes, sir.
Facts. But yes, indeed. Yeah, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram under Couch Coach Live. Check us out every Monday here, OverReaction Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Couch Coach Live, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On Wednesday, no Thursday. Friday, watching the football, guys, 8 o'clock. Me and my guy Rob, squad up. Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gang. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you Sunday, your new favorite NFL pregame show. And then Sundays at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Just depends on the finals of the Watch the Football team. Our post-game show, me and Rob, once again, gang.
A lot of gang shit.
So yeah, man. So definitely follow everybody here on Off the Ball Network, man. We just say, like you said, like Jerk said, the best 4-letter word in the sports world. So, fellas, appreciate you guys for coming on tonight, and man, it's a wrap. We'll catch you guys on next Monday.
Yes, sir.
Peace.